Okay, for this quiz review, I would do first is try the problems yourself on the PowerPoint that's online, and then come back and listen to me and watch my explanations. So the first are finishing the next terms in a sequence, so try to find the pattern. So if I'm looking at this first one, I see that they all have 3's in them. So the numerator is 3 with all of the problems, so I know I'm going to have a 3 in the numerator. And if I look right here, the denominator is 1, 5, and 25. So the pattern with 1, 5, and 25 is that you're multiplying by 5 to get the next number. So 25 times 5 is 125, so that must be the denominator. So the next term is 3 over 125. The second one is a shape figure, and I'm looking at this one has 1 column, 3 rows. This one has 2 columns, 4 rows. This one has 3 columns, 5 rows. So the next one, if I have 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So this next one has to have 4 columns and 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, that one only has 5, so I need to add another one. And then it has these little 2 spokes off the side for each one. So it's a little spoke, little spoke. Okay, for the next one it says find a counter example. So you're trying to prove the statement's false. So if you find one thing that makes it false, then the whole conjecture is false. So the sum means add of 2 numbers is always greater than both numbers. So we're trying to find that this number is actually going to be less than both of these. So when you're trying to work with these numbers, I suggest using 0, negatives, fractions. Those are always types of things that help with counterexamples. So I know that if I add 2 negatives, I get another negative, and negative 5 is less than both negative 2 and negative 3. So this is my counterexample. Second one, if a number is divisible by 4, then it is divisible by 8. So if I pick 32, 32 is divisible by 4, and it's divisible by 8, so that doesn't work. What about 44? 44 is divisible by 4, but it is not divisible by 8. So 44 works as my counterexample. The collinear points right here are points that lie on the same line, so I want to make sure that I put commas in between. So D, B, and E are collinear. You could also do the other line. A, B, comma, C are collinear. Make sure they're capital. Non-collinear points are ones that don't lie on the same line. So these 3 would be non-collinear. They actually make a plane. So D, B, C are non-collinear. You could also do A, B, D. So A, comma, B, comma, D. Make sure you use capital letters and make sure you separate them with commas. Down at the bottom, name the top of the plane. So when you name a plane, you need 4 points or 3 points and no commas. So the top could be A, B, F. That's a combination. It could be A, E, F, B, A. That's a combination. Second one, what is the intersection of the top and the front? So the front is this blue part. The top is the red. So where they go together, where 2 planes intersect, make a line. So you need to name this line. To name a line, you have 2 letters, no commas, and put a line symbol on the top. Okay, draw nets of each and label the dimensions. So a net is a 2-dimensional representation. This is a rectangular prism, so it has a bottom. I'll draw in the 3D part. It has a bottom that's 9 by 3, so I label that 3 by 9, and it's going to have these sides, which I'm going to put on the sides right here, 3, 3, and this dimension is 4, so I need to have a 3, and these are 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, and then when I fold it, this part, the back side, the bottom, it's going to be, there's 3 more of these. So in order for these two to wrap right here, this has to be a 4, this has to be a 4, 4, 4, and the top part right here has to be a 3, because it needs to go on these two right here. So those are my dimensions, and I couldn't go ahead and put in centimeters all the way around. Make sure you're labeling all these faces. And the second one is a triangular prism. So the triangular prism has 2 triangles. So I'm going to draw this triangle, and it's 10 by 8. And it has a face that connects these two. In order for this back part to wrap around, this is the hypotenuse, this is the hypotenuse. So if this would flip out, this would be the hypotenuse. Okay, so the hypotenuse, this would make a 90s to make that hypotenuse. If this bottom was 8, then over here needs to be 8, and the long side right here is 8, or the long side, not the hypotenuse, but right here has to be 10. Oops, I wrote 8 centimeters, centimeters. And so now I need to have the bottom still and the back part. So I can put the bottom right here, and the back part is a little bit bigger. So the bottom, in order for this to wrap, this needs to be 8 centimeters. This needs to be 8 centimeters to wrap. This needs to be 10 centimeters to wrap. This is 10 centimeters to wrap. And then all the way across right here is X, 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 X. So in a rectangular prism, or a triangular prism, sorry, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 rectangles, because these triangles have 3 sides. And just some vocab that you should know. If 2 lines intersect, so if you have 2 lines and they do intersect, where do they intersect at? They intersect at a point. If 2 planes intersect, then they intersect at a line. How many points do you need to make a plane? You need to have 3 non-collinear points. Write the dimensions of each. A point has 0 dimension. A line has 1 dimension. A plane has 2 dimensions. And a cube is 3 dimensions, or another 3D shape. That's why we call it 3D. It's 3 dimensions. Through any 2 points, there is 1 unique line. In other words, lines can't be curved. Okay, they need to be straight. And the last type of question is looking at these charts and making a conjecture. So it says, use the chart below to make a conjecture about the sum of the cubes of the first 25 counting numbers. So counting numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I do is I label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to get down to the 25th row. So the pattern is 1 cubed is 1, which is the same thing as 1 squared. 1 cubed plus 2 cubed is 9, which is the same thing as 3 squared. 1 cubed plus 2 cubed plus 3 cubed is the same thing as 36, which is 6 squared. So I'm seeing a lot of patterns here. I'm seeing that I'm going up by 2, then I'm going up by 3, then I'm going up by 4, then I'm going up by 5. So if we need to get down to the 25th row, look over here, what would you write in? Well, this is 1 cubed plus 2 cubed plus 3 cubed plus 4 cubed plus 5 cubed is the same thing as 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all squared. So you could put in 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 all the way to 25 squared.